Willie County. Yeah.
So I want people to understand, so like everybody to understand what you about to see with Jackson State this under TC Taylor. Like
Man.
what type of
I can answer that easily. Let me preface by saying this. Before Deion Sanders came to Jackson State, from the year 2000 up until, let's just say 2020, right? Let's just say 2020. That's 20 years. In that 20 years, we won the SWAC once. Then we won a SWAC twice. We won in 2007. And we won in 2007. That was it. And so we got Cummings, and Cummings went to the SWAC championship game 4 times. He won once. We won in 2007. But that was the worst 20-year stretch in our football history, right? From 2000 to 2020. Now, if you go back from, let's say, the previous 20 years, go look at our record. So it's like we went through the worst stretch in our school's history in that particular time. I say all that to say this. There's a huge generation of people who saw Jackson State in a certain type of way. Well, I don't fall in that category because I'm 44 years old and I know what we come from. And Mr. Ford can vouch on what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
People who know Jackson State football, we're an HBCU blue blood. And Coach W.C. Gordon won the SWAC championship 8 out of 10 seasons.
Yeah.
You got to remember, we own the SWAC consecutive win streak with 28 games. Now, you got to remember, that doesn't sound huge, but you have to understand when this record was going on, we only had 7 schools in the conference. So you had 6 conference games. So basically, we went undefeated for over 4 seasons. You know what I mean? And we're on a 20-game winning streak as I currently say this. So to answer your question, what Jackson State is about to go to with TC Taylor being the helm, and this is what I give Deion Sanders the biggest credit for coming to Jackson State for, is that Deion Sanders really rejuvenated the fan base. I'm not talking about just because we were winning. When we hired James Bell, he literally almost destroyed Jackson State football. In more ways than one.
Amen.
In more ways than one. We lost a huge segment of our fans, and a lot of fans just stayed away. Even though we had a great showing year in and year out, we lost a lot of our fans. The greatest asset that Deion Sanders did was he rejuvenated the entire fan base.
Right.
And so now that sleeping giant is woke. And so now you add to the fact that you bring in Jackson State's favorite son, TC, as head coach, who, by the way, was on Deion Sanders' staff. You got to always add that caveat in there. And see, what a lot of people don't know also is that TC was on the staff prior to Deion Sanders being hired as the head coach. Well, TC and Otis Ridley are on that staff because of Ashley Robinson. And so now you have that segue. Basically, what TC does, TC buys the old JSU, which we know and love, because TC Taylor is a James Big Daddy Carson disciple. He recruited him, played under him. TC knows full well the JSU standard and the old way of what we think about JSU. Yep. Now you add with what he got with Coach Prime, it's a marriage of the old tradition and the new way of doing things. So when I tell you that all the people who are like 30 and under, you're not going to recognize what you're going to see going forward, because going forward, we're going back to what I would like to call the W.C. Gordon days of Jackson State football. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that we're going to win at that clip. I don't really think any coach can. Well, I'm not talking about the winning. I'm talking about the JSU mystique, the JSU nostalgia, the JSU fan base being what it was and what it is and what it's growing to be. And that's what I mean when I say that. And we're also starting it with the look of JSU, because that red block is back. And anybody who knows about old school JSU football, that's what we mean. The red block is back. And I'm talking about every Saturday, you're going to see that red block. So this is not the 2000 JSU or 2010 JSU. This is going to be the 1980s version of JSU, 1990s version of JSU. That's what you're going to see.
Man.
And let me add this now. Don't forget Bob Hill. Bob Hill was major at Jackson State too.
Yeah, here's the thing. Bob Hill was, but when you think of JSU football, You're not thinking. You're not.
WC Gordon. Yeah, no doubt about it.
I mean, no
doubt
trust
about
me. No disrespect to Bob Hill. Bob Hill did his thing and he laid a foundation. But when you think Bob Hill was blue and white JSU, WC Gordon brought that red in.
Yeah, he brought
when you saw that red block and them red Nikes, you knew it was business.
Oh yeah.
You know what's called he tried to keep it going on too. Big Daddy Carson when he was coaching too. It was certain the games that we, watching. We play in got the red striped pants.
No. When Big Daddy took over, it was a continuation. Nothing changed. Nothing changed until Big Daddy passed.
Yeah. For hooping DJ, boy, hey, I'm telling y'all, when I was in school, man, like you talking about head busters. There go one of my boys right here, a football player, Big Warren Story. He played on the same team with TC.
I appreciate the honesty, though. I appreciate the honesty about the JSU legacy. So I'm shutting up. I love the discussion because people keep it trail about what Jackson State been through, man, and where they at now.
But one thing we got to keep in mind that, like you said about James Bell, but the guy that empowered James Bell and them to destroy that program was Ronald Mason. And see, one of the things you have to understand about black college presidents, either the president's going to make you better or they're going to destroy your program. And the person that helped set the line to destroy Jackson State program was Dr. Ronald Mason. Don't leave him out.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this too, Doc. I hate y'all stole Ashley from us because Ashley was the provocateur of Prairie View, going where we went. It is what it is. He was the extension of Charles McClellan.